Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lexi, and if you guys are watching this, thank you. I'm really nervous to be making this video, but I am very excited to also be making this video. I've been wanting to get back into vlogging for quite a bit of time, but life has always been very crazy for me, and so it's been years. So a little bit about myself. I am 32. I feel very old. I'm going into my third year of nursing school in January, and I have a lot I want to do before then. Obviously, I don't have a lot of time before the first day of school. How many days I have left? So I have 63 days before school starts, and that's crazy. I've been working really hard to get into my #1 program, and I got accepted. I am ecstatic, over the moon. As a mom, I felt really selfish to go into a program that's considered very difficult and very time consuming, but as a mom, I also knew that I wanted to do this not just for myself, but for my kiddo. I don't want to be the fat nurse. I am very much overweight right now. I am currently sitting at about 248 or so. My highest weight was about 262, and when I started to try to lose weight, I started about 253. I have struggled with my weight for most of my life. When I was young, I was a lot thicker than most kids. By no means was I fat. Not until I hit puberty anyways. But I was always made to feel like I was, because I was definitely bigger or thicker than a lot of the people in my family. And so I guess I have always been struggling with my weight. I've always thought I was fat. I always thought I was not what I should be and look the way I shouldn't look, and it was really hard. When I hit puberty, I gained a bunch of weight. I started my period when I was 9 years old. It was about a month before my 10th birthday. Back then, we didn't realize that that is not actually normal. And now as an adult, I have a lot of like medical issues, PCOS, signs of endometriosis. But yeah, so I struggled with my weight my entire life. When I was 17, 18, I told myself that I was gonna lose weight and that I was no longer gonna be fat, and I was gonna do what I needed to do in order to lose that weight. So I did, and it started off really, really good. And then it went really, really bad. Back then, I think my starting weight was like 220. Family member gave me pills to lose weight, and I was very ignorant to that, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't take them for very long. I think I took them for less than a month, and I got really sick, and I'm like, dude, this is horrible. I'm pretty sure it was phentermine. I wasn't on it for very long, but because I had no appetite during like those 2-3 weeks that I was on it, once I did stop taking it, I ate like nobody's business. I was lifting weights, but I could not out exercise a bad diet. So I ate really bad, and I gained more weight, and I think I was like 235 or so. I tried my best to do it really healthy, but I ended up going on the opposite spectrum after years of hinge eating. I ended up restricting really, really bad, eating about 500 calories a day and burning, from the calculated like stuff on the watch or whatever that I used to wear, like 2,000 calories a day. In total, after yo-yoing for so long, I did lose about 110 pounds. I started weightlifting and getting really strong and meeting new people and making new friends, and it was like the best thing ever. Before I was 21, by the way, because after I turned 21, things changed. But I lost 110 pounds. I looked great. I felt great. I started like healing my relationship with food. And I say healing because things always happen, apparently. Healing my relationship with food, and I started weightlifting a lot, and I started working a lot, and I was going to school. So like my day was just filled with a lot of things all the time. At 21, right before I turned 21 actually, I met somebody. I should have seen the red flags and I didn't. And to make a very long story short, I was with this person for a very long time, about 9 years. I don't want to get into that necessarily. At 21, I drank a lot. I drank with this person a lot. It was very bad, to the point where I had labs drawn and they're like, hey, you're overall very healthy, you're a good weight, like, you know, very fit, whatever. Your liver enzymes came back, they're not very good. Basically, you have like fatty liver from alcohol abuse. I've been drinking almost every day for like a year or two after I turned 21, so it was really horrible. I tried stopping, it was very difficult. I was not by any means like an alcoholic, but being with that person was really hard, and them wanting to always drink was really hard, so we just kind of drank together. Luckily, after those 2 years, we both actually stopped drinking and things got a little bit better. I was still doing a lot of the things I wanted to do, and I was still focusing on school and all that other stuff. Unfortunately, with this person came a lot of hardships and a lot of heartache, and a lot of bad stuff happened. I was in a very bad situation that I didn't know how to get out of. I really wanted to make things work, and I thought this person had a lot of I don't know, I guess potential. Gained a lot of weight. I gained more than I actually had lost. Started very slow, 20 pounds here, 10 pounds there over the years, until we were together for about 7 years at that point, and I honestly couldn't fit into anything. I had stretch marks that I had never seen before. I literally, which is not good, but I literally went and saw my grandma. I used to live in California. I'm in Washington now. We went to go visit my grandma, knocked on the door. The first thing she said was, "Oh wow, you've gained a lot of weight." I had not seen her in like 2 or 3 years during that time. I think it was very shocking to have seen me at a healthy weight and then had seen me 150 pounds heavier. And so I was like, wow, that's kind of rude. Dang. I realized, holy heckin' Bob, I definitely am so far from the person I thought I was, and from the person I worked really hard to be. At our 8 to 9 year mark, I was just not having it. I had been in therapy for a very long time. Things were not changing. It was just a very dark, just horrible place to be in. Doing so much all the time to keep my mind occupied, but every time I went home, it was just hell, to put it lightly. It was really horrible. Literally everything started crashing down in 2019, like right before COVID, which was also when I started working in the medical field. So it was just like a bomb, a nuclear bomb went off in my life. I love my family. They helped me out so much during this time in my life. I went from having everything I ever wanted, being the only person working, always having money, always taking care of this person and other people, to being broke, having nothing, having my things taken away from me, and being what I thought was old at the time, almost 30, living with my mom. I had not lived with my mom since I was like 17, so that was a really harsh reality. I love her. She helps me a lot. I was only with her for a couple of months, but it was literally the time I needed. I did look for a job, and I started like reestablishing myself. When I left my ex and I was in therapy, they were like, hey, maybe you should try some medication. You've been in therapy for a very long time. Like, maybe it's time you try some medication. I was really scared. I was basically microdosing medication. I was really scared of taking medication, so I refused until I couldn't, because I realized like, oh wow, I think it is actually helping. I started taking medication, and it really did help with like my depression, my anxiety. My OCD was so bad during that time that it was turning into, I don't want to necessarily like say self-harm, but like it was getting very close to where my patterns could no longer be controlled in certain aspects, and it was getting pretty bad. So the medication really helped. I'm still on it. It's helping immensely. I took the medication and I stopped eating my feelings and I stopped starving and I stopped doing like all these crazy things. Actually naturally lost a good bit of the weight that I had gained. I think at one point I had lost like 60 or 70 pounds, which I had not done in a very long time. They're like, oh my gosh, you look great. Like, you know, what are you doing? And I'm literally like, I don't know. I think therapy and the medication and being away from such a stressful and like debilitating situation really just helped me. It was great. Things really turned around for me. I met a bunch of people, made a lot of friends. I've met some of my best friends, and I ended up meeting my husband. And it was also a very crazy thing. We're both gamers, so we actually met, well, we met through like some mutual friends, but we started really talking over Black Ops, over Call of Duty Zombies. And so it was really fun. It was really great to meet him. And I ended up getting pregnant, planned on having a baby. I was 28-ish at the time. I'm really bad with timelines. I was almost 30 and I said, you know what? I think it would be great for me to have a baby before I'm 30. And it just so happened I did. I got pregnant, and then 9-10 months later, actually about 7 months later, because I ended up having a really bad pregnancy, very high risk. We spent an entire week at the hospital together. He was in the NICU and I was being pumped with medication. Had baby. I thought like the weight would just melt off. They're like, oh, you're gonna breastfeed, you're gonna lose the weight, it's just gonna melt off of you. And that did not happen with me. I'm gonna make sure I supplemented enough to actually make enough milk to be able to feed my baby, because he was exclusively breastfed. We didn't introduce bottles for a very long time, and I actually nursed him for a little bit over 2 years. It was a really difficult journey at times. Just, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot mentally, but it was amazing. I honestly miss it sometimes because it was such a great bond that I had with my kiddo. Yeah, the weight did not melt off. Having baby actually made it so more issues kind of came about, and they found out a lot of stuff was happening within my body, and they're like, oh, we kind of have to get that under control. I was pregnant, my A1C, for example, was a 4.8. After I had baby, it was 5.9. Ooh, my husband's here, hold on. Alrighty, where were we? So they were like, yeah, you have a bunch of inflammation, all this stuff is going on. So yeah, they tested, they did pathology, they tested my blood, they did diagnose me with celiacs. They did do a bunch of testing for like PCOS, because I always get cysts, and they've ruptured, and I have like scar tissue and all this stuff. I had emergency surgery February of last year to take my gallbladder out. Just like a bunch of stuff has been happening. Right now, I weigh almost 250 pounds. I am 32 years old, and I'm starting my 3rd year of my nursing program in order to get my bachelor's in nursing and move into my master's. I don't want to be that fat nurse. I don't want to be the nurse that cannot do her job because of her weight. I have a lot of there's a lot that I cannot do because of my weight. I am a mom to a very active child. I have a dog. I have a husband who loves to do things out, you know, side, like to go quad riding and hiking and fishing and like all these other things that we do together. And I do them, but I don't always do them comfortably because I feel uncomfortable all the time with my weight. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much. I'm gonna insert the please give it a like, comment down below what you would like to see in my channel. Yeah, subscribe, I guess. I'm very nervous for my channel and these videos, but I do really want to share my journey to better health, and I really do want to share my journey in becoming a registered nurse. Doing that while I am a mom and I work and I have a family to take care of. I also work for the coroner's office, by the way, so I actually have 2 jobs. I'm always busy. I think it's time that I, you know, take a moment and actually take care of myself. I'll be sharing my journey and weightlifting, and I do want to run another half marathon next year, hopefully, and definitely at a better health standpoint. Crazy long story, a lot of vagueness and a lot of holes in it, because it would literally take me years to explain everything that has happened to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do hope you guys stick around, and yeah, welcome to my channel. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.